Hello, Trisha. How's it going?
Hey, Rach, I
Nice to
am awesome. Yeah, you
nice to
too,
see
girlfriend.
you. Cool. Another
Absolutely.
Tuesday. Welcome to Smart Impressions. I'm here, Rachel, from the Bizz Advisors with Trisha from Impressive CV, and we're here to give you tips and tricks of how you can really elevate your personal profile and be, a celebrity in your industry, essentially. Really connect with people, professionals, jobs, and potential connections that can really drive your revenue, drive your future, and a whole bunch of things. And we had such a great conversation last week because we just started talking about the LinkedIn profile and the value of how some of the parts of this profile are really, really important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Trish, just to give everyone, I know people are tuning in now. It's every Tuesday for 15 minutes, a little background about you and what you're doing and how you're helping people right now.
Yeah, so I'm Trisha Chapman, the managing partner of Impressive CV, and I've recently opened a recruitment company called Fine Match Recruitment. And I help you with all of the necessary tools to get noticed on the digital space. And that can encompass personal branding, job searching, or LinkedIn and CVs.
Great. Awesome. So it's so good to have you here because you are dealing with professionals constantly that are looking to get new opportunities, new jobs, new placements, and employers that are looking to hire new people, right? And so when you are considering matching businesses with individuals, what is kind of your go-to first requirement to consider someone for a position?
Well, I guess at the end of the day, the value that they're going to be bringing to the business. And I guess essentially, how does a job seeker or how does one display that? Through quantified metrics and achievements.
Right. And that's what we're talking about today. The session today is all about the secrets of your profile optimization and personal branding. A lot of people, I think, shun away from personal branding because it feels like too much of a marketing kind of stand there out there, in the open, but it's required and necessary for these opportunities. So by optimizing your profile, you're going to be recognized, you're going to be seen, and people will see these quantifiable results of where you can actually see what you've actually done and the impact you made to the world, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I guess maybe in summary from last week, we just briefly touched on having the right photo, the right tagline, the right image in the background, and probably one of the most important features is two aspects: your back end settings, so the privacy settings and all the settings so that you're visible, because the default can quite often be a hindrance. So make sure that you know that, and of course the skills or the keywords in the skills section. So that was last week's topic.
Perfect. Well, we're just going to expand a little bit more because that profile doesn't just stop there, right? So I want to get into other parts of the profile as this is like part 2 of your LinkedIn profile and what needs to be adjusted. I know people ask, should we use emojis? What exactly information should we actually be using and validating? And so we really want to answer any questions that people have so that we can help you install and start using their tips and implementing it today on your profile to make you look as great as possible, because it only takes 7 seconds for someone to judge you online, which is a very short time, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Cool. Fire away. Where shall we start?
So I think let's talk about the experience section because you see a lot of people, they do include their past jobs. Sometimes it's linked to a business where the business's logo is there. Sometimes it has job responsibilities. Other times it has nothing. So what do you think about someone's profile that doesn't have a chronological, overview of their career journey?
Yeah, so I guess from my perspective, and obviously there's no right or wrong to LinkedIn, it's just what showcases your value the most. But from my perspective, I don't want to see every single little possible detail that you did in your work, across 20 or 15 years. I want to know at a high level overview the impacts that you've had, maybe some budgets that you've managed, some market expansion figures. But ultimately, I should be wanting to email you or pick up the phone and ring you or request for a CV to know more. So we want it to be still engaging enough that you can then divulge to a deeper conversation. Why? Because if you start listing every single bullet point, I can automatically make a judgment and say, no, this person's not the right fit, or no, he's not going to be a good sales fit for my organization. And then you've already formed a judgment when potentially you've got more to offer than what you've actually listed there.
Well, I think it plays both from a, sales perspective. If you're going to reach out to a potential customer or client, they're going to go and Google you, your LinkedIn profile will pop up, and they're going to go down to that experience section. Guess what they're going to find out? If you have experience to even be an expert in what you're selling. Right. And that area is going to tell them the years of experience that you've been in the industry and what you were able to achieve with ideally other clients that would match what their needs are. Right. So I know from a recruitment standpoint, you're going to want, a lot of people want people with the experience that are going to match the job opening that's there. And that's what they need to see. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, leadership. This is something that people quite often forget. But how many people were you managing? Or what was the size of the organization? Is it just a small startup, or is it a multinational where you've got, 6,000 employees? Is it a matrix environment, or is it a single reported dotting line, environment? So the more quantified and the more
No doubt.
overview you can give, the better opportunity you can have for an interview or a further deeper dive discussion.
Right. So I think from with the experience area, instead of just writing a whole blurb or your job responsibilities, keep it simple, keep it bulleted so that the eye actually naturally sees really line items, and keep it really achievement oriented so that you are showing what you were able to achieve. So you may have a job for a small amount of time, but if you were able to make some remarkable strides, then you should show exactly what that is, and very so that someone can really understand what your value to that organization was, and that will show. I mean, that will go, will go forever theoretically, but that will make a huge impact, right?
No, absolutely. And I think, Rich, not only this, you can then start putting your proof in the pudding. So upload some certificates or some photos where you're at industry events and you've maybe won an award. Give the proof in the pudding, make it visual so that people are enticed to scroll down and learn more or ring you or request a CV. So don't, I guess, shy away from the tools that are in there. If you were featured in an article or you were a guest speaker or on a podcast, put that link in the LinkedIn media section so that people can fully see and engage in your brand from an entirely different perspective than just LinkedIn's designated areas.
Right. And this is relevant for people that are working for big companies, small companies, companies of all sizes, right? Because most companies have company profiles, right? So you can even include a company profile to give more information of the type of business it was. Was it an SME? Was it an enterprise? And really understand what markets were you targeting, who your customer segmentation was. And so anyone could take this information and really kind of find the value to it and see the relevance to what they would be hiring for or the type of interaction you would have with them. So I definitely love that. If you are interviewed, so if you have been interviewed, if you are on camera, if you have taken a picture speaking in front of an audience where you can be a credible expert in that field and that position while working there, use it, post it, include it, really, really valuable. And I think, as we move into the next section that I want to discuss, which is all about the content sharing and creation of what we should be doing on your profile. I also want to suggest that anywhere you work, they have social media sites. They're all using these social media platforms to push content, and sometimes just even, extracting some of this content and putting it into that description experience area just for the relevance, but it gets it more like meaty. There's more for people to judge, more for people to look at, and more for people to see, which is super valuable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this comes down to as well your personal brand. So be authentic. And again, what we have been discussing in the last few episodes, put content out that's engaging around your subject matter expertise and relevant to the people that you are trying to attract. So if you want to be selling items or you want to be, industry known as a leading sales professional within your domain, put out subject matter expertise that showcases this or your tips and tricks and advice, etc. You're a CIO or a CTO, put out content relevant that you are going to be attracting other CEOs or CTOs to your platform in efforts. Maybe you want a board position. So you need to be having a purpose as to where your content is going, and then that will reflect the people that you're trying to attract. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, of course, because if you're using hashtags You got to search that search bar and LinkedIn first before you even use those hashtags. I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone's profile that has a hashtag, work on the weekend, and this hashtag's not being even searched on LinkedIn. So that it's completely irrelevant, right? So you definitely want to use hashtags to come up in those searches. This is really like a great tool, but you want to use those hashtags that are being utilized and followed on the platform itself. And every platform is really unique to the users and how it's being utilized and stuff. But so a hashtag that would be great for Instagram may not be relevant at all for a professional network or a platform like LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there's loads of tools now out there that you can use to support not just having written content, but having some professional, crisp images, that can convey your message. And don't be shy. Don't be shy to start posting content rather than sharing. So many individuals literally see an article that they like or something that resonates with them and share it. Ultimately, it may reflect your views and your beliefs, but that's not authentic. So we really want to be getting your personality out and across, and put 2 or 3 posts a week, and it just has to be consistent.
Absolutely. So I think you've made a very relevant point. I know a lot of people say, oh my God, what should I be sharing, right? What kind of content should I be sharing? And it's easy to just like someone else's content, right? But absolutely, that makes no impact to who you are or makes no expression of what your thoughts are. So I would highly recommend someone to just make a couple lines of your thoughts of why you're even sharing this to your audience. I mean, on LinkedIn right now, you can add about almost 200 people just naturally as new connections. Once they accept your connections, they can actually see and have visibility to your content. So the idea is kind of to push content that's going to be relevant for your expertise. So I always like to say, like, the most engaging stuff on this platform, where people do share and people do like, and even people do comment, are things like quotes, statistics, media, and actually like current events and stuff that's happening right now, within the industry that you're focusing on. Like, I would say that those top 3 are really, really relevant. But more so, I encourage people to use pictures and video of themselves, because this makes an impact. This is like marketing. I mean, we're all theoretically like marketing ourselves, So for you to be a thought leader, you need to be able to share your opinion, share your thoughts, and do it regularly on this platform, because it works with this idea where it only shows your content if you post your content. So if you only post once a month, guess what? Nobody's going to see your content, right?
Yeah.
And so would that be a waste? So the goal is really to post not once, but twice. I mean, in some cases, people are posting 2 to 3 times a day, but it's obviously very time consuming to do that. So if you are going to post, use your pictures, use your voice and have an opinion, throw out some stuff and just make it relevant for what you're sharing, and use some stuff that's really going to gain some traction and engagement, so that when it is shared, people do jump on board to want to get involved, right?
Exactly. And maybe my final point on this topic is thought-provoking. So don't just, write a statement that's boring and everyone knows. You want to have something that's thought-provoking, that causes maybe a little bit of controversy here and there, and that drives engagement. So sometimes that can actually be better if it's an opposite opinion to maybe the norm. It might not be reflective of yours, but you can say, hey, put it out there. This is not how I think. But have you thought about this? And then, you can be showing both sides of the story and then having engagement on your LinkedIn. And it doesn't necessarily have to reflect the values or the opinions and ideas of your workplace. You can make that very clear. And you're just saying, hey, have you thought about this concept? And then that's boosting your engagement in the algorithm.
Not only that, but people are going to be looking for people for positions using these hashtags. And if you're posting these contents, guess who's coming up when they search? Your pictures, your profile. And so you want to see your face. You want to have a flavor of that online, because it's really static. And so by using video, you can really encourage like a three-dimensional kind of experience before we get into the VR social media playing, field. I think the last one I want to share is just how important the engagement and networking is on LinkedIn. This is a professional platform. So people are sharing stuff like LinkedIn Live. Like, this is easy for anyone to do. And we're sharing information. Hopefully we're sharing valuable information that you can implement, and you can show, and we can see our expertise and how we add value to anyone that's listening across our network and our channel. So I do hope that you guys have found today's session really valuable. I hope that you're able to implement some of these easy tricks to just make your profile optimized so that you can get a better reach, a better engagement, and better visibility for the people you're trying to target. Trisha, I can't thank you enough for coming and joining me again. Your expertise is super valuable. I love that you share it. And if anyone needs something, just a review, a look at your profile, reach out, because that's what she's here to do. Again, I'm Rachel from the Bizz Advisors, and we're going to see you next week. We got more speakers, more experts, and more insight so that you can implement into your life and make a real human connection going forward in this digital age. So have a great day, guys.
See you guys.